But anyway, I'm in there, and it took about 8 weeks. I'm on solitary confinement, and after about 8 weeks, I started feeling the same things. But in the first week, I spoke to a psychologist because they come and interview you, and I asked her. I said, "You're the psychologist, holding me down here for 9 months, which I thought was going to be 9 months. What's it going to do to me? Because I know what it's going to do to me." And she said, "Yeah, this really ain't going to be good." I said, "So why are you doing it? How can you do it? How can you get away with doing it?" And I went through all the different prisoners because I spoke to the staff all the time. Michael Adebolajo wasn't on solitary confinement. Yeah, none of them are on solitary confinement. None of them. The jihadists, they're all together. They're on little units together, all playing pool together, having a good time. So my biggest concern the whole time when I got in there was leaving. That was my biggest concern. I was thinking, fucking, the time sitting in there, you don't feel it. You're just sitting in a room. My concern the whole time, which I kept stressing to him, I said, is when I walk out of here, you can't hold me like, because then I was stressing, thinking, last time I remember what it was like. So then I was worrying about it all the time.
Do you know what?
Panicking, like little things. Like, I speak to my daughter, she's saying she's going to a party. I panic like fuck. And that's not normal, and I know it's not normal. And I'm panicking till the next time I can use the phone. And you'd wait, because I was on, and I've got the paperwork. I took the paperwork from the jihadist wing. Their phones go on at 6 a.m. in the morning and on to 11 p.m. My phone was on for half hour and then at designated times. And you're waiting all day for that phone call to check. And it may seem mad. I'm panicking and my kid's all right. What's going on out there? And I think it's the element of control. When I'm outside, I have control. All of that control is taken away from you. You wait till 6 o'clock to make your phone call. They don't turn the fucking phone on. So I'll be waiting there. And little things, I'm waiting for the phone to go on. They don't turn it on. And then I'm pressing the button and I'm ready to kill someone. And I'm losing my fucking head. I'm like, turn the fucking phone on. I need to ring my kids. My kids are waiting for me to ring them. And they've done that so much. I don't mind once, like all the time. They just wouldn't turn the fucking phone on. And little things like that. And I'd say, this isolation, there's so many different options that people can get. And I guess feeling sorry for myself, do you know when you've done something, I think I shouldn't even be in here. I'm in here. I shouldn't be taken away from my kids. My kids were struggling a bit, or one of my children was at Christmas having a real hard time. I'm stuck in a fucking cell.
Is that when you called me?
That's when I called you. They cut their phone numbers off. They cut my ex-wife's number off. They cut my son's number off. They give me a disciplinary so my son went to Tenerife. Just stupid little things. But anyone who's been in jail knows little things are massive things. Yeah, something that can be small can become so big when you're sat on a bed, just in a room, thinking about nothing else. So my son's going to Tenerife, which I was happy about because he needed a break. And he's going to Tenerife with my other friend's son, who's 18. My son's 15. So they're flying there. Now, his mum's booked to go the next day and stay in the hotel next to him, just to keep an eye on him. But he's gone, and now I'm ringing up and I can't get hold of him. So I ring Jenna and say, "Have you spoke to Spencer? Has he landed?" Because I'm panicking. She said, "Yeah, he's landed." And I said, "Well, I can't get hold of him." And then my daughter's in the car. So my daughter rings my son and says, "Dad's trying to get hold of you." And he says, I can't take calls. I can only take Wi-Fi. So then I say on loudspeaker, "Son, you need to change the settings on your phone call. Yeah, I need to know you're all right." They cut the phone off. They turned the phone off. And then they done me for a three-way call. It's like, I'm allowed to ring my son. They done me for a three-way call, give me 7-day loss of canteen. Now, canteen's important for me in there. This time, compared to the last time, I could eat better. Well, I eat better. I had £60 to spend, which was all right, on my canteen. But then they cut my food for that for 7 days. But there were so many little things that I had visits, and they cancelled a visit the day before. And they done it I'd say for 3 months, they cancelled all the visits. All the visits that were meant to happen, they just cancelled them. And then say, in the end, they made it, anyone who has a social media presence couldn't visit. But in there, I guess after about 8 weeks, I didn't really complain. After 8 weeks, I started complaining because I could notice a difference in myself. And more so, I was more panicked about when I got out. That's what my worry was all the time.
Let me ask you more about the journalist in you.
Yeah.
Because I know that your journalistic instinct and intuition never switches off. So you're now serving a stint in a high-security jail, but you're not just Tommy Robinson, you're in there as a journalist. So what did you learn as a journalist? What were you learning in there?
I learned everything. I had the best experience, a sense of, if you were a journalist and you want to know what's going on in prison, geez, I've just had the best opportunity they could have ever given me. I think they're thick. They took me to a segregation unit, and then because I was civil prisoner, they had to let me have the morning out of my cell, time out of my cell, but still on my own. So they took me to the separation unit, which were built for the jihadists. So for the most radical terrorists in the country go on these separation units. The idea is to prevent them radicalising further people on the wing. But there's so many that every wing's being radicalised. It's insane what's going on in there. All I spent, I'd see officers, my door would open at 8:30 in the morning. I'd get collected by 2 prison officers, and it'd be 2 different prison officers every day. So I never got the same staff because mine was just an overtime role. So because it weren't their full, they'd get 2 different officers, and they'd walk me from my cell over to the separation unit. Now that would be through 22 doors, and it would be all the back way. So I'd go through all these doors, and in the end, I used to quite enjoy because I thought at least I'm getting out and I'm going on this walk. They bring me to a separation unit which was built for the jihadists. When I say you go on this wing, it's the fucking bollocks. It's got the best of everything. So I'm on this wing, but I'm on my own. So I get put outside on the yard for 30 minutes, and I walk around in circles on my own. There was a pull-up bar and a dip bar, so I used to do that every day. I'd have the same routine. I'd do that, and then they'd bring me back inside the unit, and I'd go inside the unit. But I didn't have a cell in there. There were 16 cells on this unit. Totally empty it was. Keep going on about prisons being full. I had 16 cells there. I had 16 cells there. But I'd look in the cells. The cells were like travel lodge rooms. Like they had built-in mirrors on the wall. You don't have a mirror. I don't have a mirror. I didn't have a mirror. I didn't see myself, yeah? They have a built-in mirror. They have a wardrobe, full functioning, lovely bed. They have everything. It's like, this is a fucking travel lodge. This is what the jihadists stay in. So you couldn't actually get your head around it. Then they have a full kitchen. And I mean a kitchen with a big cooker, with a air fryer, I wasn't allowed to use any of this, which again, just didn't make sense. It's like, how can't I use it? But this is what the jihadist facilities are. Air fryer, toaster, sandwich maker, full-size fridge, full-size freezer for all their food, pool table tennis, table football. Obviously, I was on my own, so I'm just putting there for 2.5 hours on my own. But there was a little makeshift gym room that was for the unit. It had a running machine, it had a bike. I'd go in there and I'd exercise for an hour, 2 hours. And then when I'm finished there, I'd get walked back. But whenever I'm getting walked anywhere by the officers, I'd grill them. I'd question them about everything. What about this? What about that? What about this officer? What? And I spent 7 months just asking questions and listening to radios. Earwigging and listening to radios. Understand how the staff feel about the situation and what they're going through.